Hey guys, so last four, well, not last, because I have a surprise for you at the end of the four fragrances that I'm going to cover, but for now, last four fragrances. The Metal Collection. Now, these are pretty bottles. They are actually, I want to say they're actually metal, but they look metal, if anything. I'll show you the one that I have in a bit, but that's not till one video from now. But for now, I'm going to show you this. The gold leather fragrance. So you see how the bottle actually looks metal. Anyway, so this one is gorgeous. Now, for anyone who has already been to Sephora, has checked out the fragrances that I've told you to check out, you would have already seen some of the prices. Like the 30 mils of Orange Sanguine, I believe, is 70. And then I think the 100 mil is 110, 115, something like that. And then the 200 mil is like 180 or 190, something like that. So you are looking at about it's definitely a little bit more of an expensive fragrance because it is a Cologne Absolute. You're basically investing. You're not buying a fragrance, you're investing in a fragrance. And that's why they come in larger bottles as well, because you just really fall in love with them, that you just really want to keep using them. This one, I can't per se really tell you how much the gold leather will be, just because it's not one of the ones that we carry in Sephora Southgate. But the other ones in the line we actually still carry, and they're sitting at about at least $180, $200, and I'll explain to you why. Sometimes when people find these fragrances and they fall in love with it, I tend to break their hearts when I tell them how much it is, because they expect the price of it to be quote unquote reasonable. But trust and believe, mama, when I say that it is reasonable. So let's go into a little bit more detail as to what is so special about this metal collection line that makes it more expensive. These all of the notes that you'll be finding in these fragrances are very difficult to find. They're either very difficult to find or difficult to make, which in turn cost a lot of money to create. So you're not only looking at one of Atelier's finest fragrances, you'll be looking at Atelier's one of the most expensive fragrances to have been able to make. With that said, because it's not really based on a fruit, it's not really based on a fresh fragrance. These fragrances are not citrusy in any way at all, which means that anyone who knows a little bit about their fragrances knows that any citrus-based smell will always be the first to evaporate, and anything that's spiced, anything that's musky, anything that's deeper will always tend to last a little bit longer. So these ones, I don't want to promise you more than 12 hours. Sometimes they do last more than 12 hours. If you have well hydrated skin, sometimes they will last 12 hours. But anyway, I spent 3 minutes just talking about the collection. I haven't even started talking about the fragrance. Gold leather. As the name suggests, it has leather. I love leather fragrances because they're nice and sweet. They have, you really get that the only way to describe it is you get that leather smell. But because of its sweetness, you get that leather and then sweet, but then you expect a little bit of spice. But you don't get the spice from the leather in this fragrance, actually. The spice that you get is from the Jamaican rum. Yeah. So you get the Jamaican rum in there, and then they tried to put in a little bit of a bitter orange to kind of lighten it a little bit, because leather is a fairly heavier note. It will kind of drag you down. So they want to make it they still want to make it a little bit lighter. And to give that woody texture, that very earthy spice, they put in some saffron. Now you'll notice that saffron is actually quite often used in this line, but that just kind of goes to show that most of the fragrances, they are going to use more of the rare minerals, the ones that aren't really easily found and more expensive to make. They made sure to put in a little bit of eucalyptus. I mean, just like everything. And for example, they didn't even use gaiac wood. They used like heart of gaiac wood. So this is like really excavating that and really just getting the pure essence of it. So that explains a little bit more on how they got their price points from and why they're that expensive. The next video I'll show you is actually one of our more popular ones that people end up purchasing without even caring about how much it is, and I'll explain to you why. But for now, definitely go to Sephora and ask to see the metal collection, and if you want, you can check if your fragrance consultant knows why they're expensive. Because now you know. So you guys are just as smart as every fragrance consultant out there. But for now, stay